What's going on, guys? Welcome back to today's video. Today I'm going to walk you guys through a day in the life on my inpatient family medicine service. Today would typically start at 6 a.m. That's when we'd have to be at work to receive checkout from the night team. So I'd usually wake up around 5 a.m. just to get ready for work, pack my lunch, do all that stuff, and then drive to work. So I would get there at 6 a.m., receive checkout from the night team. And we usually like to keep it short and sweet, just mainly the acute events overnight or anything that needed to be changed overnight. After checkout, we do our pre-rounding, which basically consists of us typing up progress notes on our patients for the day. As a first-year resident or an intern, we would typically see up to 6 patients in the morning. So that means we chart check them, review their vitals, labs, meds, kind of come up with our own plan in our head of what we want to do with the patient for the day, and then we would go ahead and see them after that. Before attending rounds, we always see all of our patients, go up to their bedside, ask them how the overnight was, ask them if they have any questions or concerns, and kind of explain to them their plan of care moving forward for today. Typically, we would do that for about 2.5 hours, and then attending rounds usually started at 9 a.m. Attending rounds basically means that we round with our attending or supervising physician. We tell that physician everything that's going on with the patient. We try to know them like the back of our hand, and then the attending physician either okays our plan, or they add things to our plan, or recommend taking things away from our plan. So they're just kind of the supervising physician there to make sure everything's running smoothly and make any adjustments to our plan for the day as needed. Most of the attendings do like to do table rounds, meaning we just discuss all of our patients at the table and they'll go see them after those rounds on their own. But there are some attendings who like to do bedside rounds with the entire team. So even though we've seen those patients earlier in the morning, we'll go ahead and see them again with our attending. So attending rounds took anywhere from up to like 1.5 hours to even possibly 3 hours, just really depended on our patient census or how many patients we were taking care of for that day. After attending rounds, we would be basically on call to admit any patients to our service. So we'd either be making adjustments to medications, consulting subspecialty teams for advice on our patients, or talking to the ED physicians and trying to get a patient admitted or seeing if they needed to be admitted to our team. So that service was actually pretty busy for me. I did get a lot of experience admitting a new patient, pretty much working until 6 p.m. almost every day on that rotation. So 12-hour shifts and then working 6 days a week as well on that service. And then essentially after 6 p.m. we would check out to the night team. We'd give them important updates throughout the day, or just tell them what to look out for overnight if certain labs or imaging were pending that would possibly come back for the night team. So then after 6 p.m. checkout, I'd usually just head straight to the gym, just because the gym is really close to my work, get a workout in, and then head home to make dinner, and then just relax, unwind, and spend some time with Madison. So that was actually a typical day on days for that shift. We have 3 interns total on the service, 2 during days and 1 during nights. So there's always an intern on at the night shift. So for my schedule, I would actually rotate between days and nights. I think we would go every 10 days and then 5 nights. So that way we would have 2 rounds of nights during that month, and then the rest of that time was days. So as a night intern, my shift would start at 6 p.m. and then I would receive checkout from the day team, just things to look over. Basically, your job is to just answer questions and then look out for any of the things that the day team wanted you to look out for. A lot of the times you'll just get calls from nurses asking if the patient can have this medication or if they can have more pain medication. And then even sometimes we would have code blues overnight. Basically it's cardiac arrest, which you really don't want to manage as an intern, but it's all a part of our training. So there was actually an instance where it did happen to me on one of my nights, but we worked through it. Luckily got the patient back and was able to transport that patient to the medical ICU team for further care. Those are the kind of things that you are responsible for overnight. As a night intern, you work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and then you do have 1 upper level. It may be a 2nd-year resident, or it may even be a 3rd-year resident. You do always have backup, so you're never left alone, but the 2nd or 3rd year is actually going on a 24-hour shift, meaning they've worked earlier that day and then they're coming on to our inpatient service for a night shift. So obviously I try to call them the least amount possible because I know they're tired, I know they're trying to get some rest, and I would only call them if anything really severe was happening to any of our patients and I needed help with that. That was pretty much a day in the life of a night intern. The way our whole entire inpatient service works is we have 1 attending physician on service, we have 1 3rd-year chief on the service, and then we typically have 2 2nd year residents, and then we have 3 family medicine interns. Like I said earlier, 2 of them are on days and 1 of them's on nights. And then we also are really lucky to have a inpatient pharmacist or a clinical pharmacist rounding with us as well, and they basically just double check all of our medications. They look for any medication interaction, or they also double check patient allergies and just make sure that medications are compliant with their allergies. So that's pretty much how our service works. Our role as interns are to write all the notes for patients. There's typically never a second or third year writing the notes. They're always chart checking and making sure that our plan is up to speed and making sure that our plan is accurate and the best for the patient, as well as seeing the patient. Our role as an intern is to also admit all of the patients to our service. So a second or third year will come with us, but we do the most of the work and they will be doing most of the supervising. So as an intern, you basically are running the inpatient service almost by yourself, but with obviously very close and direct supervision. They're always there to write notes if you need help, and they're always there to do admissions if you need help, but they try and make sure that all the interns do that within reason, just to obviously get us experience and exposed to as many patients as we can be exposed to. And the way our inpatient family medicine service worked is we admitted patients that were seen in our clinic or admitted to our service within the past 6 months. So we'd see all patients, bread and butter cases, as well as see very rare and unique cases because our hospital is the only level 1 hospital in the state. So we saw a lot of really unique things that you typically wouldn't see anywhere else. And if we felt like we weren't able to adequately take care of our patients, we would transfer them and admit them to the medical ICU for a higher level of care. And then outside of that, if we felt like we needed advice, we would be able to consult cardiology, nephrology, neurology, basically all of the subspecialties to come and take a look at our patient and just give us recommendations on what they would do to improve our patients or how we should manage our patients. So as a medical student, when I did my sub-internship in family medicine, I avoided this sub-internship as much as I could just because I knew as a third-year medical student, I really didn't like the inpatient services as much as I liked outpatient. I actually did my sub-internship in sports medicine, which qualified for family medicine. So this was actually my first experience on this inpatient service, and I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I think mainly because I knew more of what was going on. I was able to kind of stay up to date better with my patients, and I found it a lot more educational being on the service as a resident than as a med student. Although I don't particularly see myself doing inpatient medicine, I did enjoy it more, and I thought it was a lot more educational than I originally thought it would be. As family medicine, you have the opportunity to be a hospitalist at inpatient hospitals, and it typically doesn't require a fellowship, although there is a hospitalist fellowship if you desire to do that. A lot of our attendings that came from our program just go straight into being attending physicians on our inpatient service without any additional training. So that's another aspect of family medicine that people may not know about. I know it's kind of weird to think of a family medicine doctor doing inpatient care, but it's always another thing you can do with family medicine. Also, the thing that kind of separates us from internal medicine is although we're both primary care-based teams that can work in the hospital, we did see children patients as well on our inpatient service. Also, I do want to make a separate video about this topic, but I'll touch on it very briefly. Luckily, on our family medicine inpatient service, we did not take care of COVID positive patients. So every time we went and saw a patient down in the emergency department that we were going to admit to our service, we never knew if they were COVID positive or not, just because their test was usually pending by then. So we'd always make sure we wore our N95 goggles and then a surgical mask over our N95 just to protect our N95 as well. And if the patient actually did end up being COVID positive, they would be transferred to our special COVID inpatient team at our hospital managed by the internal medicine residents. They would be transferred to our special COVID unit at the hospital. Luckily for us, the numbers at our state have been low enough to where our service doesn't have to take care of COVID positive patients, but it is always a possibility in the future that we will have to start taking COVID positive patients on our service if the numbers do continue to rise. So that's pretty much my experience on the family medicine inpatient service. I do have a new medical Instagram called @Dr_EJ, where I'll be posting exclusively medical content on that Instagram. I will still keep posting on my EJ Fitness Instagram as well. It'll basically be all aspects of my life, fitness, medicine, travel, anything else that I enjoy will still get posted to that Instagram. I do know that some of you like just the medical aspect of my social media, so all of my medical posts will be compiled on that one Instagram @Dr_EJ. So make sure you guys give that a follow as well. Sorry for the relaxed apparel. I'm currently on my day off. I'm on the cardiology consult team, which basically means I am on the inpatient cardiology consult service with all the cardiology fellows, having a great time on that service, learning a lot. I'll make sure to make a video on that topic as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment what you guys want to see down below, and I'll see you guys next time.